Thank you so much for coming back. Now, as promised, it's all about Wicked and White. And with me today, I have Shan James, and she's one of the persons behind this event, which is deemed as the biggest indoor event for St. Lucia Carnival. So, Shan, how are you today?
I feel great, really excited about this event. So, Wicked and White, as she said, is the biggest indoor event for St. Lucia Carnival, taking place on the 14th of July, which is Carnival Thursday.
Carnival Thursday, that's right.
So, the whole concept behind Wicked and White is for us to, of course, have an indoor event, because a lot of the events nowadays are outdoors, or they're either cooler feds or... So, we're bringing back the original style of events for St. Lucia Carnival. And what we will be doing is transforming the Johnson Center into a world-class nightclub. So we're going to have world-class lighting, world-class sound. And, you know, with that, a lot of people have expressed concerns about the sound at Johnson Center.
Right, because a lot of people complain about the acoustics, so...
Right, the acoustics and the reverberations. But we have made provisions for that, so you have nothing to worry about. Right. We have made provisions for that, so the sound will definitely not be an issue on that night.
Good. Now, since we're talking about sound, of course, one of the biggest factors that makes or break an event is who's going to be performing. So what can we expect with that? So,
our cast is a major aspect of the event. So, out of Barbados, we have King Bubba and Hyper Sounds.
All right.
And out of Trinidad, we have Salty, and he normally teams up with Akeem 5.0, who's a DJ. So they kind of go hand in hand with their act. Of course, we will never leave out our local artists. You know, they have to come perform their big hits for the season. And we'll also have our local DJs. And also out of the UK, we have some DJs who are going to be making appearances. They're part of the Soca Frenzy team, which is like a soca group in the UK, and it's gonna be amazing.
All right, awesome. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a little birdie may have mentioned to me Barry Hype.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And
Barry
he is,
Hype.
a lot of people are not aware that Barry Hype is actually St. Lucian. So
Hyper Sounds also has St. Lucian roots.
Oh, really?
Yes, he does. So it's like one big happy family. So Barry will also be coming with Crown Prince. So,
all right,
you know,
that's yet another reason to go straight out of Dubai, right?
Yes,
good stuff.
Out of Dubai. We also have an element of surprise. Now, I haven't disclosed it on any of our radio interviews as yet, but I think I should do that right now.
All right, you see, we're getting the exclusive.
So we will be featuring Kerry the drummer.
Are you serious?
I am serious. Kerry the drummer is going to be at Wicked and White, folks. Now, a lot of people don't know of him as yet, but he has been here about 4 times, I believe.
I've seen him as well.
Yes.
Outside Verve.
Right.
He is an act to see. He live percussions whilst DJs are performing, and he really just gets the crowd going. It's just amazing how he drums together with the DJs.
Yeah. So. And it creates like this whole kind of Juve atmosphere. Yes. So it's really an experience. So Kerry will be here.
That's really, really awesome. Now, you know what? Tell people about the dress code. Of course, we know the color scheme is white, but tell us about that, as well as ticket prices.
Okay, so the dress code is white with a touch of color, because, you know, we have to keep the carnival spirit in there, you know, our bacchanal spirit. So white with a touch of color. For this event, we're offering both regular and VIP. So the regular price is $60. For VIP, it's $120, and it's semi-inclusive. So you get your complimentary drink upon entry. Of course, you have your rooftop parking at the venue, express entry into the venue. The VIP will be located in the fully air-conditioned Sky Lounge. So you'd have an elevated view of the stage. You have your hors d'oeuvres as well. A cocktail bar. The Ciroc Lounge will be there. Also, we're going to have artists meet and greets. So that will be something to look forward to in our VIP.
All right, fantastic. Well, listen, everybody, prices are right. Artists are amazing. Venue is going to be transformed. I'm super excited about that. I'm going to be there. So we really have no excuse not to go out, because a lot of people complain about prices now for carnival events.
Right.
So we have the largest indoor event with prices that are just amazing. So you have no reason not to enjoy some fit, this carnival. So Wicked and White, will see you there.
And of course, none of this would be possible without the help of our sponsors who have really contributed in a huge way. So we are working in association with Flow as well as Blazing FM. Of course, we have sponsorship from Campari, Dewar's, Ciroc Vodka, Hennessy. Palm Haven Hotel has really come in a big way as well. Bounty Rum, and of course, Fireball Whiskey.
All right. So without the sponsors, we'd not be here. So Wicked and White, Carnival Thursday, Johnson Center. So make sure you're there. Now, stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to go into the history and roots of St. Lucia's Carnival. I'm here at the beautiful gardens of Montcobarale, and we came here in search of the one person who can give us that great recount and really go into the roots and tradition of Carnival and its origins here in St. Lucia, and that is none other than Monsignor Father Patrick Anthony.
Hello, listeners and viewers.
And thank you so much for being here with us today.
Sure.
So, we're in the month of July, and it is carnival season in full force. And one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of the traditions, a lot of our culture, they're trying to bring it back. Some of it is getting lost, and it would be great to get that recount of what carnival really was back in the days.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how far back you go. If you go way, way, way back in the days when people like Roddy Walcott and Turks, and Miss Booty with Carnival on the band, on the bus, and people, truck and people moving around the town, and completely clothed, all covered up all over and so forth. And you see, Carnival was at the time linked with the whole religious tradition of Lent. So people had this idea of, okay, this is a time when we are having goodbye to flesh, Carne Valley, goodbye to flesh. So it's our last big, let's do it. And then came Lent, and we said goodbye to it, you see. So this was really the kind of way in which Carnival was done in the old days. There were a lot of, there were steel bands on the road, there were people on trucks as well as on the road, nicely costumed costume bands, and people enjoy themselves in those days. There were also the brass bands that used to come along with the carnival. But even that, really, it was carnival in St. Lucia when I was growing up, in the 50s and so forth. But the real origin of carnival, and it's something that people don't really understand, is that the St. Lucian carnival has two origins. It has what we call the African traditional origin, and it has the European traditional origin. You see, the European origin is the church, goodbye to flesh kind of thing that happens. So you have that in Venice, you have that in Florence, you have it in Brazil, and so. The African heritage connection is what we call the canboulé. That was in the days of slavery. When the harvest time came, they harvested the cane, and the way in which they harvested the cane was by burning the canes, you see, so that you could get rid of all of the the insects and all of the things on the cane, so that the cane would be exposed for reaping. So you used to call that canboulé. And of course, when you burn the cane, there was a lot of soot. So the tradition was when the cane was finished, they gave the slaves the opportunity to celebrate. And so the planters themselves and the colonists would use the soot to cover up themselves. So in other words, white people would paint themselves black, with the soot. And to contrast that, the slaves would paint themselves white.
Wow.
So you'd have this play on roles. So we have this canboulé tradition and the carnevale tradition. The carnevale would be the religious tradition that came from Europe, goodbye to flesh, and the canboulé would be the African tradition connected with the burning of the cane at harvest time in the Caribbean societies.
Now, Papa, you mentioned, Carnival's origin in St. Lucia. And when people think of Carnival and its history, off the bat, unanimously, people know Trinidad, and it stemmed from there. And, steel pan, all of these things came out and spread through. But we don't stop to really think about what is the history and origins of Carnival to St. Lucia itself. And, even things like right now, opening of Carnival was called Vavalry, and you find that term being used again. And people don't really know the religious ties it had and relations with St. Lucia. So what is, Vaval, or Tiwe Vaval, as they used to say?
Right, yes. You see, the Tiwe Vaval concept is really a misnomer. It's not Tiwe Vaval, it's Tewe Vaval.
Tewe Vaval.
Tewe Vaval. You see, because what happened was that when you had the carnival finish on the Tuesday night, and Wednesday, people went to Ashes. But Wednesday afternoon, there would be this mock funeral in which people would have the mock-up of the Vaval, which represents Carnival, and they would actually take it to go to the cemetery to bury it. So it was a Tewe Vaval. In other words, they were really burying all the wildlife, all the revelry that went on before Lent, because this was now a period of holiness, of quiet and peace. And that is why, for example, in St. Lucia, in those days, during Lent, certain songs were not played on Carnival, on radio.
Right.
It was always quiet music, classical music, kind of, So the revelry, the jump up, the thing, that was buried, Tewe. So the Vaval means Carnival, look at Tewe, Vaval. So there used to be a big kind of procession, with this effigy of Carnival, and in which you're going to go and we're going to bury it, and so it's finished until next year when we start back again. So that's really the origin of the Tiwe Vaval. It's a Tewe Vaval. Look at it, Tewe Vaval.
Now you see, and so many people don't know, these religious connections and ties that it had. And right now we use Vaval. Everybody's Vaval, and when it got shifted to July,
well,
all we
this
knew
was the problem. You see, when you uproot a tradition, it then just hangs up, and then people can do whatever they want with it. If the tradition is in its root, it's rooted in the ground, then new growth will come from the soil, but it will be rooted. But when it's removed from the soil, then it can become something completely different from the origin. And that's unfortunately what is happening with the tradition of Carnival. And I believe really that the way in which you can have cultural transformation, cultural progress, cultural development is not by cutting the root of the tradition. Because when you cut it from its origin, it has no meaning in its own right, you see? And a people who are uprooted are going to be an alienated people. So in the world where everybody can identify, I mean, we just had the World Cup. Not World Cup, European Cup, huh?
Right.
UEFA. And you saw what? Iceland. And what is in Iceland? A very cultural thing. Everybody now, they don't know, but that's a cultural thing for Iceland. So there's the power of their culture. They brought their power of the culture to the world stage, you see? And that's what people who are rooted in the culture do. They bring their culture to the world stage. So they're not alienated people, they can be identified with who they are. And I think, unfortunately, because of what happened with our carnival in St. Lucia, when it was uprooted from its religious connection for whatever reasons, it is now becoming something in its own right. Now, of course, you can always create culture. We are creatures of culture and creators of culture. But if you want to create something that's disjointed from its origin, fine. But if you really want to maintain something vibrant, it must be rooted.
Now, this is why we had to make sure we tracked down Pablo, because this sort of recount and, you know, just in-depth storytelling of our history of Carnival is exactly what we need. Because again, you find that Carnival and its culture, we're straying. And as we both agreed on, if you don't know your past, you don't know your future. And this has been so enlightening. And I'm certain that our viewers are having this I did not know that kind of moment now. And that's perfect because, you know, these are the kind of things that give you a greater sense of national pride and a greater appreciation for what's culturally ours. So we know what's our Carnival history. So when we go out and we're going to parade, we can understand where it came from. And then, of course, take it again to the next level and make it unique to us here in St. Lucia. So, Pablo, thank you so much for being here. And honestly, the pleasure has definitely been mine. So thank you so much.
Always ready to share. And remember, the Folk Research Center, you can go there and you'll find there are doctoral dissertations. People have done PhDs on St. Lucian Carnival. People don't know that. You can go to Folk Research and find research done, years and years of research at doctoral level on St. Lucian Carnival.
All right, so now you have it. That's our Carnival roots right here in St. Lucia. Now don't go anywhere because when we come back, we're going to catch up with Teddy Francis and he's going to take us to Carnival in the now and tell us about the new CPMA and everything there is to enjoy for St. Lucia Carnival 2016. Good morning, St. Lucia. Thank you so much for coming back. I want to apologize. Teddy Francis was a little under the weather, so he was not able to join us. However, when we make up, we come really good because I'm thrilled to be in the presence of royalty right now. I have our National Carnival Queen sitting right next to me, and that's Miss Tyler Theophane. How are you feeling today, Anna?
I am fine, thank you. I'm
Thank
wonderful.
you so much for joining us. It is such a pleasure to have our royalty here with us.
Thank you.
Now, you know what? First of all, we'll start it off light because if you notice, and if you're on Team Tyler, you'd notice that I didn't say, well, did I even pronounce your last name correct? I said Theophane. Because I know there's a story behind that, and we're giving you the exclusive. So, Tyler, you tell us what's up with that.
Well, now you should know that it's not Theophane, it is Theophane. Why? Because it's French, and we have to be reminded that it's not Theophane because everybody pronounces it as Theophane, but it's Theophane. My grandparents and my granduncles and just the grand family, they remind us all the time that we shouldn't say Theophane, it's Theophane. So now everybody should know that it's Theophane and not Theophane.
All right, so you got the story right there. So she definitely knows her roots. She didn't win by chance. So that's another example of why she is our queen. So how did it feel on the night? You know, it's always nerve-wracking, but when they're calling down, they're at first runner-up, and it's time to call the winner, and then you hear your name. Just relive that moment for us.
If I have to be completely honest, throughout the show, I was never nervous. The moment they called the first runner-up, that's when my heart started to race. My smile just broke. My face was trembling. I was nervous. I already knew, like, I felt like it was going to be me because they already called the first runner-up, and I'm like, oh my God. And I just wanted to fall, like oh no. That was, I didn't know what to do. But it was a wow experience. It was really, really good. And I could hear people chanting my name, the screams, everybody was waving, already coming close to the stage. I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening. Yeah.
And you are from Choiseul.
Yes, I am.
How was, because we know you had support. Of course, all the contestants had their support, but there were definitely the diehard Team Tyler fans out. And coming from Choiseul, how was the support from your own community?
Not only from my community, because Choiseul is a large. People from all the different parts of Choiseul came out. People I don't even know, and that was something that was, wow, exceptional. Like, who would have known people I don't even know would come out and support me? But they just wanted to support the communities, the different communities. They wanted to support Choiseul. So that was really, really nice of them.
Nice. So everybody came out in numbers. Did you actually have persons come out from Choiseul on the night to be there too?
Yes, they did. So I have to tell them thank you. Thank you so much for that.
That's really nice. You know, when it comes to pageantry, most people, or you find most of our contestants for the national pageant, usually come out of a pageant from their own community. Now, I know your story is unique, and you as well, very youthful. You're 18 and you've taken St. Lucia by storm, so much support, and you won the crown. So how did it feel, especially not doing one of the community pageants, but coming into audition, and how was that experience?
I wanted to do the one in the community, but I was too young. So I let the opportunity go. I didn't let it go. Well, it passed me by because I was too young. Then I waited till my 18th birthday, and I didn't want to wait another year to start to like audition for the Carnival Queen. So I did it, and then here I am.
Jumped right in and you took the crown.
Yes, I did.
Fabulous. When it comes to, well, your journey, take us through that experience, because a lot of people, you know, think they know pageantry, and it's easy to say, okay, well, there's pressures and whatnot, but really don't understand all the work that goes into it. So share your journey for us from auditions, when you jumped right into it on the national stage, throughout, you know, practices, whatever you had to actually, whatever I guess your routines were, and then again, the experience unfolding on the night.
In as much as I wanted to take part in the pageant, I was still kind of laid back for the auditions. I waited the day before to actually find a talent, find the dress I wanted to wear for the evening wear segment, find a swimsuit. I just waited till the last moment to get everything done. And then I still got it, and I made it through to the auditions. I made it to the competition. Right after that, they called us and they told us, they called us on our phones, but it was live on Choice. And they called me first. Again, my mom was at the front. She was the one who took the phone and answered, and then she's stretching it for me. Tyler, answer the phone, talk. And everybody was already screaming. People from my community, like some of the houses are really close by. And you could hear the people screaming, and you could have heard that on the phone. Like they were outside my yard. Oh my God. Yeah, like it was just, wow. Then after we had to meet up, the first time we had to meet our chaperones. Mine was unable to come, but then after I met with her, she took me to lunch, and then we built a really good relationship. We would talk about any and everything. She made sure that I would eat. She made sure that I was on my diet, and I would do my exercises, and I would practice my vocals. And in as much as it may seem like I was having fun, with all of that fun, we were getting stuff done. We were completing our work. We were trying to get everything that needed to be done. We needed to do it because we needed to win. Because when she called me, the very first time she spoke to me on the phone, she's like, are you ready to win? Because we are not coming in second. Are you ready to win? And I could never forget that. From then, it was just good from there. We were good. We were tight.
Hey, and if you are not aware, Tyler's chaperone is none other than Mrs. Kathy Sammy, and she, as we all know, is royalty in her own rights. So it looks like from day one you already had that winning formula going, right?
This is what helped me. Like that was a push for me. You cannot lose. She's already a winner. You cannot lose. I had to keep remembering that. Well, that kept me. She didn't even have to tell me. Like sometimes I even found it like she was a little intimidating because I have to impress her because she already won. It's like, you have to win.
So she was setting those standards for you.
Yes. She already set the bar. And from there, the days right before the show, we would have, there was this one time, they kept reminding me that you must cry, you must cry, you must cry. And this one time, I had a mini breakdown, but I didn't let her know that I had the breakdown. I sat there quietly. I wanted to cry. I waited till she got out of the car, the van. When she came back in, my tears were already gone because I had already let it out.
So
but
you hear that?
Yes, but all what she was telling me was just to help me because at some point in time, like you could have seen, I was too laid back. Like I wasn't pushing because she knew I could have done much better every time. That's the only reason she would yell or tell me something, because she knows that I can do better. I can do it. So like she would always be there, and my sponsors as well, and the people from CPMA, they would always be there. My sponsors were like my biggest, apart from my community people, my sponsors were like my biggest supporters.
That was
Always
Fix
there.
as well,
Yes,
correct?
Fix.
Okay.
Yeah, and the people from CPME, Jesse, Auntie Paula, Trevor, these people were always there for us. They would always send us our morning messages to ensure that we were okay. Even the girls too, like we had a really good relation. Like everything just went good enough. I accepted it. I liked the different experiences and the different transitions. It was good. It was really good.
Tyler, thank you so much for being here with me. It's been such a pleasure. And St. Lucia, as you can see, this is our national queen. And I have no doubt that she is going to continue making us proud. She is beautiful inside and out, beauty with brains. Absolutely humble. This has been my first interview with her, and I'm totally blown away. And she's so articulate. I have no doubt that you are going to continue representing us and making not just Choiseul, but the whole of St. Lucia proud. So just keep it up, and we're going to be following you.
Thank you.
All right, well, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for joining. Stay tuned for the next episode because we have so much more in store. So until next time.